Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are back. I have to show off. I haven't worn this one in a while. I've got any Labyrinth fans out there. Remind me of the babe. Oh, well, welcome, welcome. My name is Evelyn of Pink Sheep Design, and this is Pink Sheep and Friends Friday. This is episode, I think, 47. So we're just trucking along with these, and I had to take a break the last couple of weeks, I believe. Definitely last week, I just came on and gave you guys some updates about what's happening with designs and things like that. I see Ellen's here. Welcome. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a good start to the weekend. J.M. Branham, hello. Let's see. So, let's see. Today is actually attempt number 3 to go live with this lovely guest. Today's guest is the Lucky Mermaid. And you may know her if you have seen her amazing 90s bead lizard crochet pattern floating around. It just got featured in Annie's catalog. That was actually one of the reasons I reached out to her. It reminded me that I really wanted to bring her on for one of these chats. And thankfully she was available and said yes to come on. And the first time that we attempted to go live, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna change I feel like my camera is not quite where I want it. There we go. I think that's better. But my power was going in and out. This is still uneven. My power was going in and out, and my internet got knocked off the air. So, and then the next time we tried to go live, we went to, my husband and I went and bought an RV in Orlando, Florida, and it was last minute. So it was just every time we've tried to go live, things have not worked out for us. But here we are today. So I am going to go ahead and bring her on because I know she is here. So let me do an invite. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. There we go. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to type this in on my phone as it's hanging in front of me. Welcoming Mary, a Lucky Mermaid. Fingers crossed things work today. It is cloudy today, but it's not storming. So. Hello. Can you hear me?
How are you?
Yes, hello.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Yes, you had a little bit of a lag for a second there, but I can hear you now.
All right, I think I'm just gonna move my camera a little bit. I have you like balanced on like a twin that just came from Amazon.
Yes, I totally feel the DIY setup. I finally found a setup that works really well for, I have like this, light behind the camera, but then I got one of those, it's like those articulating arms that are supposed to hold up an entire desktop.
Oh my gosh.
And I use it because they're meant to hold really heavy things. And so I use it not only for my phone, but for my camera. So like I've got actually got it here, but this is the camera that I use for most of my stuff. And it's heavier, so I didn't want anything rickety.
Right.
And these are supposed to hold like 50-pound monitors. So I was like, we're good. And you just attach it to your desk and you're good to go.
Stick or something. I'm like, move this. But oh my gosh, I'm so glad we finally get to do this.
I know. So let's do a quick little intro. I know we had an intro on the last one, but I don't think I even attempted to share that video because it cut out so early.
Yeah, so I'm Mary. I live in Massachusetts, down the Cape. So I'm on Cape Cod, which is super nice, very inspirational.
Yes.
I've been crocheting since I was little, but like 2009 when I had my daughter, like when I went on the YouTube and I saw this crochet cupcake that somebody had made, and I was like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it all started. I mostly crochet amigurumi stuff, which is Japanese crochet in the round, like making like mermaid dolls, jellyfish, plushies, stuff like that. But I also do like all different kinds of like freeform crochet, you know, spinning, weaving, dyeing, punch needle, just like somebody buy me an alpaca.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm pretty like much just like jack of all, master of none. So
Yes, which I think is great. I mean, I've never, I think there's definitely a balance there. There's the people that like love being hyper focused on one thing, and that's good. But I feel like I struggle, and I hate even saying it about myself because it's one of those like, what's a weakness of yours?
right.
When something gets really difficult, I'm like, I'm just gonna move on and try something else.
Right. No,
Just stick with the basics.
That. Yeah. No, I haven't. I like seriously, that's been like 2 months. This is the longest I haven't crocheted for. I don't know if I have like carpal tunnel or like something is happening with my wrist.
Yes.
Waiting for it to get better. I made like a baby blanket, and then all of a sudden I was like, my life is over. I can't move my arm. So I've been working on this.
Oh yes.
That I got for Christmas. I've been making art bats on it to spin yarn, and I tried putting a couple in my Etsy shop, and I sold a couple of them, so that was exciting because then I had money to buy more art bat stuff.
Yes. Exactly. So explain what exactly it is that you're making. And I know I had seen some stuff in your shop. Are you dyeing things as well? Like, what are you creating with that?
So I do dye stuff. I didn't dye any of this stuff. Here's one right here that I just made. So this is like mohair.
Gotcha.
Wool neps that I just got. So it basically just makes like a big long sheet of wool all going in the same direction. It's like carding it so it's all going in the same direction, just like preparing it for you to be able to put it on the spinning wheel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you spin as well?
Super fun. Yes, I do. I love
it. Okay.
You have to
that is something. Yeah, that is something I want to try. I actually, it's so funny talking about like techniques that, have existed forever, and, I've just never tried them.
Right.
And actually something that let me see if I can, oh yeah, it's right here. So, something that sadly, another thing I don't like admitting, but that I've never done, and this is with designing wearables and making wearables. I have never used these.
Oh my God.
I have never blocked anything. I think I steam blocked one gift. It was a scarf that I steam blocked because it was Tunisian, right. And like I tried to get it to lay flat. But I already know what I'm gonna block. I bought my rainbow blockers, and I bought my flooring to like pin everything down. And I'm gonna video it so everybody can see. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yay! Oh, good. See, I feel like it makes such a difference, especially if you're working, I feel like with wool, like, because it stays after you edit.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. I think once you dive into just the fiber world in general, there's so many things that you can continue to learn and like push yourself and try. And the more I'm a part of it, the more I'm like, okay, I think it's time for me to like take another step, take the baby step and try something else.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
So when did you learn how to crochet?
I don't know. I think I was probably like around 8. My mom, my grandmother, my great grandmother, were always like making afghans and blankets and stuff like that. So I knew like the basics, like how to like crochet like a scarf. But it wasn't until like 2009 when I like saw that YouTube video and it just like clicked, and I was like, I need to do this. I need to make this like little bear cupcake. Like it's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. And actually where I was living at the time, there was like a free shop. So I had gone there and I just grabbed like 3 balls of yarn and just started practicing with my laptop on my bed and like my newborn in a boppy. And it was so fun. It was very addicting. And I just haven't stopped since. And I'm just like, what new hobby can I get?
Yes. Yeah. So what are some of the other, do you knit? If you don't knit, what are some other hobbies that you have, even if they're not fiber related?
So I like thrift shopping. I don't know if that counts
Yes.
as a hobby.
Agree.
Hold on one second. I just gotta put this box down. I'm
You're
gonna
good.
see if I can set this. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh,
The ceiling.
you have a nice ceiling.
Thank you.
I like your
This
ceiling.
this is actually our closet. My husband's like, wouldn't it be so nice if we didn't have to have 3 dressers and we had a walk-in closet? And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, that would be great if we have
You do
room
have a walk-in closet. It's just for your yarn.
Exactly.
Duh.
Yeah, so I collect 90s toys, which is like kind of weird. I don't know if that's weird, but like I love like nostalgia.
I was gonna say I see some dolls up there.
Yeah, like anything like from the 90s.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that, Dear Diary, Tamagotchis.
Yeah.
Just the colors, they just make me so happy, and like I just find it so inspirational. A lot of my work is like super colorful. Like I'm just very like the same as you, like pink and orange and like very very colorful. So
Yes. Do you have there's a couple toys that I have to know if you have any. So Lisa Frank. Do you have Lisa Frank stuff?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any Furbies?
Oh my gosh. I don't. I sold my other Furbies, but I still have these ones.
Oh!
Furbies.
So those are like the little toy Furbies. They're not like the furry Furbies.
No. I had the furry Furby. I had actually opened up like a little vintage online toy store where I was like selling a lot of the stuff that I found.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Furbies ended up getting sold last year because I was trying to downsize because it was like crazy. Yeah, it was a little overwhelming. I think my husband didn't realize when we had moved to our new house that we're in right now, like the kind of collection that I had accumulated.
Yes.
And then when he walked in here, it was just like he got slapped in the face and was, oh my God, what is this, Mare?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I sold some of it. I still have a lot of it packed away.
Yeah. That's really cool though. I love that. I think, there's a lot of people that collect like vintage clothing, like vintage clothing resellers. But you don't see it as much with like the toys. And I think there's such a market for that for people who want the vintage toys.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense that the pattern that you have is the pattern that it is.
I know, and it's so weird because it's the only pattern I've ever written. And it was just so weird. My friend Petra online, she's an incredibly talented artist. I had put it on my Instagram, and she's like, you need to write the pattern for this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but I've never written a pattern before. And she's like, you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. So I literally just like did it on the floor of my bedroom in like 15 minutes. I feel like if I knew that it was gonna like so many people were gonna see it, I probably would have put a little more effort into the pictures and like my TikTok video. I'm like, I don't even know how to do this. Like it was literally, I threw it together in 15 minutes. I wish I had maybe did a little bit of a better job with it, but so I looked this morning and I guess I've had 9,700 sales as of this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was very exciting.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. So in June it will be 2 years since I put it in Etsy.
Wow. Do you have one with you anywhere?
Yeah, I do. Hold on, let me grab them.
For anyone who has not seen this pattern, and if you are a 90s baby, this is amazing. And so we made them at Girl Scout camp. So that's what I remember them from.
Yes, absolutely.
It's amazing.
I had one on my rear view mirror. I was driving. I had like stolen it from my mom's house. I'm like, I want this back.
Yeah.
And I on my rear view mirror, and I was like, I'm gonna crochet that. And I once like just didn't get around to it, and then finally I just one night just did it, and I was like, this is so fun because it's kind of like a craft within a craft.
Yes.
Like you get to craft the materials that you're gonna be.
Yes. And what yarn did you use for that one?
So this was just acrylic from Michael's. I think it was a Craft Smart brand when they had like all the neon stuff in stock.
Mm-hmm.
Had some trouble finding it since. I'm not sure if it's But
Everything is muted right now. All the colors
yeah,
are like earthy gold and earthy green. And I'm like, give me the color, the vibrancy.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can use any kind of yarn for this. Like blanket yarn would be fun, like super chunky,
Mhm.
big pillow for your bed. I mean, you could basically use anything. I saw somebody do like a really, really small one, and it was super,
Yes.
like
And then
really.
it really is like a keychain.
Yeah,
I mean, if you make it like micro
right.
crochet.
Yeah, it was really cute. But yeah, so that was like.
I think I lost you a little bit. There we are. Yes. Well, so if anyone's watching right now, let us know if you ever made one of those. So like if you made one, not the pattern, if you made one like as a kit. So if you made like a bead lizard as a kid. And I know I've seen people who are making, isn't it like possums? Are they making possums? What are they
Oh my
making?
God.
It's not a
Yeah,
lizard.
so funny because I had commented on somebody's, and I was like, I'm just waiting for somebody to please turn this into a possum, and then it happened. I was like, this is amazing, because I was gonna make a possum too. I like even bought the stuff, but I have 3 kids now, so like really just like hiding in this closet right now. This is like the best. I'm in the closet. My mother-in-law is out there. Boy,
Yeah.
daughter's at school, and
She
this is like,
playing goalie. Like, no, can't go in here. No, push back.
oh yeah, the door.
So how old are your kids?
So I have a 13-year-old daughter who's super, super talented. And she's the one I actually just bought that crochet hook for from you, because after all these
Yeah.
years, finally, she decided, of all places, she was going to learn to crochet off of YouTube.
That's right.
Oh, that's
Not from mom.
very teenagery of you. I sent you, and I was like, what are you doing? So that was really exciting. And then I have a 3-year-old boy, and then I have a 4-month-old boy. Yeah,
You're a
I
handful.
do. I'm like a little sweaty. I actually have an ice pack. I'm like thinking, having to go back out there.
So what is your daughter, is she super active? Does she have other activities now where she's like out of the house more, or is she more of like a homebody and wants to hang out at home?
Definitely more of a homebody. Like I
Gotcha.
feel I think we weren't expecting like our sons, like especially our 3-year-old son, we weren't expecting that, because my daughter is just like, we have to knock on our door, like, hello, are you okay? Would you like some water or some food, or do you just need more art supplies? Always
A little bit of both.
she's an incredible artist.
Yeah.
We got her ad with Procreate, and like her art is just out of this.
So I have to ask you, is she going to enter the DIY hook challenge this year?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe she should.
Because we have the kids category now, and as long as you're under 15, I think we capped it at 15, then there's their own category, and they have their own grand prize winner in the kids category, and they can decorate them however they want. You can do whatever you want to the hook.
Gosh, that would be amazing. She would
But then
probably
maybe she'd do it with you, maybe not. She may just, lock herself in her room to do it, but
probably not. She's too cool for me. But yeah, no, that's a great idea. She would probably love to do that. She's super into anything like that.
yeah, that's what I made me think of it, because like I said, we're trying to push more of like getting family involved, and like if it's, especially I feel like a lot of people want their kids to be involved in, like you said, she learned to crochet on YouTube instead of asking mom.
Right.
But anything we can do, because I'm like, family's super important to us, and we don't have kids, but we see that connection, and like we want people to spend time with their kids and have a good time, and like it's summertime almost,
like
so
it's like basically
yeah.
Summertime, holy moly.
Well, so I had a question with when it comes to patterns, and I think what's really cool about the bead lizard pattern is you're not in like copyright land. You know what I mean? Because it's not like the bead lizard trademark. Because I was trying to think like, oh my gosh, you need to make a crochet pattern for Furby, but like then you're at that point like, I don't know if that's still a thing, and like if they're still gonna come after you for that. So like, do you have any ideas or plans for future patterns, or are you like, I'm good?
I know. my other half was just like, this was your magnum opus. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I was like, it's my one good idea. So I don't know. I've tried like to come up with like a few things, and like I'm thinking on a couple things, but I'm not like 100% sure. And like, I'll just throw it out there. If anybody wants to try and do a perler bead pattern, that would be a great idea, because I have it in my head, but I'm not really ever going to do it. Do you remember?
And what is that? I don't know what that is.
So they're like, it's like a little tray with like little spikes on it, and you put the beads, the little plastic beads on it, and you put them in like a pattern, and then you melt them. I bet if you saw them.
Oh, yes. I do know what you're talking about.
Those were like huge in the 90s. We were like super beads. And so I was thinking like, oh my gosh, I was like, I'm going to make a perler bead pillow pattern where like the beads would poke out, and like I'm just like, it's never going to happen. Maybe when I have an empty nest. But yeah. I
do think that's one of the things that I love so much about crochet patterns, and like this whole world of, call it what it is, you know, the multiple streams of income for like whether you work full-time or don't, or if you want to do it full-time, but you know, you put that effort in up front, and like it's out there forever. I mean, we're going to be old ladies with like these crazy awesome crochet patterns out there in the world, selling them to like, you know, 18-year-olds when we're in our 90s. Like you don't know. I mean, it's unless you close your Etsy shop, you know.
Right. I know. I've never actually thought about that before. That's amazing to think about.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have plenty of time. I think that's the point. Is you can add as many as you want whenever you want. You know, if it takes you a couple of years between patterns, I think that's pretty cool, because it is like, I'm not going to make it just to make it. I want to make something I really want to make.
Right.
And I want to be proud of it and, you know, have it out there.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I made one other, I'm trying to think of where it was. I had made like it was like a blanket, and it looked like a piece of paper, and I had used puffy paint to like write like sup and like the super S that like we used to do with like the 3 lines on
top.
And then I had it folded up into the football note.
Yes.
And I had I thought I had put it on my Ravelry, but I guess I didn't. As like a free pattern, it was like the 90s stitch with like the football. I'll have to re-upload that again, because I thought that's
really cool. If you can figure out how to make the little, you remember that little guy, where you wrote on the inside and flipped.
Gosh. Yes, I think about that all the time. That was another thing, but like, it's like, how do you get it to stay?
Yes.
Booty catcher. Yes, the fortune teller.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's so many things, but I think it's a tricky. I just saw a post in one of the crochet Facebook groups that I'm in, and it was somebody saying, how do I get around copyright? And it's like, well, you can't get around it, because they were like, well, I wrote this pattern, and you know, I know that it's, you know, something Disney or something whatever, but like, what can I call it to like stay under the radar? And it was interesting, because luckily everyone in the comments was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't. Nope. Don't. And I feel like that's the problem with the 90s stuff. It has to be stuff that like kids made, you know, versus like the toys, which makes it harder, you know, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think what, I forgot where I was going with that thought process. Oh, pretty normal.
Like every second of my life, like getting ready, I was like, do you have this piece of paper so I remember what my name is?
Yeah. Well, and I've recently switched to almost completely decaf, which is crazy, but I was having some like anxiety issues. So I was like, this is not helping, drinking espresso coffee every morning and like 4 cups of it.
Right.
But I really, really like my coffee. So I was like, I'll just do mostly decaf, 1 extra scoop of like the regular, you know, and I'm like, the focus, you know, you can't beat that total caffeinatedness. So what I was going to ask, I do remember, right now, when you are crocheting, do you do it for craft shows? Do you sell online? Is it mostly gifts? Like, what does that look like right now for you?
So right now, as of having my last baby, it's mostly just like gifts or like stuff for him. I was doing like a lot of shows before that. There's like a lot of really great local shows here. During the summer is like crazy here. It's like hopping because it's like a super tourist destination. So that's fun. And like the stores, I do sell a couple local shops during the try and get like a couple batches of like Little Mermaids out, but it's only like 5 for this shop, 5 for that shop, because they take so long to make. I don't have too much time anymore, even though I'm home during the day. I'm a bus driver.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm like home by like 8:30 in the morning, so I'm home during the day, and then I don't know, when they get a little bit more independent I'll probably have some more time.
Yes. Yeah. So what are your favorite items to make for shows and stores?
Probably jellyfish because they're
so cool.
really easy to make. Yeah, I have one right here. I just do like, and I actually did a workshop on these once, and can I just tell you, it was like literally like imagine your worst nightmare. And like that, because I like had a panic attack and I was like, I don't remember how to crochet. But it was
yes.
Never did another one again, but I have done like weaving workshops which have gone better. I don't know what happened when I was like trying to do this. I think it's just more complicated when you're doing a workshop for crochet because people want to talk. You know what I mean? And it's like you don't know how to crochet, and like it's like you have to count. Like definitely like you can't like be chatting, but weaving is just so mindless, like back and forth. Super easy to like carry on a conversation with somebody while doing something like that. So
that's true.
Yeah.
So do you use would you say the amount of regular sized yarn, I say regular sized yarn, I just mean, you know, 4-weight and smaller versus the larger yarn?
I love both. Like I both. I go way back and forth. It kind of depends on like what I'm working on, but actually, you know, you were just talking about that sparkly Bernat baby blanket.
I love that little guy.
I love them because like they're really fast to make.
Yes, those are so cute.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is that a pattern that you follow, or is it freehanded?
No, I usually, for the most part, I usually just freehand things. I'm actually not great at reading patterns.
Which means you have a lot of opportunity to write patterns then, yes?
Yeah. Yes, maybe. Lose concentration a lot, and like I'm not great at like counting stitches, which I really like free form crochet, which is super, like it's just like, oh yeah, I have right here, like this is one of my favorites, the It's Fine meme.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
But like I don't really do anything with them, I just have them.
It's almost like a rug. Like that's big enough to be like a rug or like a wall hanging or something.
I have some of them hanging up. I love doing that because like I don't have to count. I can just like, oh, this looks like it needs to be smaller, so I can just do like single crochets instead of double crochets and just like.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like the yarn bombing. Like the people that do that's what that reminds me of.
So fun, yes.
Yeah. So when you go to hang a piece like that, because it was a little bit like looser, have you ever tried to like back it with something? So if you hang it, it won't.
No, I was thinking about that, like doing something like that, but I haven't tried. I've just like used tacks everywhere. Yeah. There's like 10,000 here.
You could almost do like felt. I feel like you could almost do, and just pieces. Like you could almost mosaic glue felt onto the back of it, probably. And then you could do like a hot glue gun.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. That's really, have you ever done any kind of freeform like patches for clothing? Like I've seen people who add on to clothing. Have you done anything like that?
Yeah. Have you seen this girl that I think it's Six Stole Designs, this mosaic crochet?
Oh yes, I've seen her stuff. It's amazing.
Super fun. It's like not as hard as I thought it would be. Like this definitely isn't perfect because like
I haven't attempted it at all. I haven't attempted any kind of mosaic or tapestry.
Yes, super fun. You should just try it. It's like
I know.
Tutorial on how to do it. It looks like it would be like insane, but like I definitely am giving this a shot. And then see, like I get like halfway there, and then like it's on a shelf.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. What's the pink yarn behind you
Oh,
on the other side?
this one?
Other side.
Oh, this one?
Other
Oh,
side.
up there
Yes.
the New England Fiber Festival.
What is
This
it? It's so chunky.
fun, yeah.
Woo!
I know, it's like a huge thing of
I do not want to know what you
it
paid
is
for that, so don't even tell me. But
bad at all. I think that's probably why I bought it. I was like, why is this so non-expensive?
oh,
Yeah, this was $26 for 200 yards.
it was how much?
$26 for 200.
Wow.
Short and
That's amazing.
farm. Yeah.
It's so chunky and squishy looking.
No, it's so fun. Yeah, that's my favorite. I look forward to that all year. The Fiber Festival of New England.
Yeah.
Is like 3 hours away from us, and like that is my favorite.
And where is it?
It's in Springfield, Massachusetts, at the Big E, and like they just have all the animals there, and then there's just so much shopping.
And where? What time of year is it?
It's always the first weekend in November.
Okay, because that's what my husband and I are now that we got an RV.
Yeah.
Which ruined one of our Friday lives, but we came home with one, so that was the point.
Yes.
One of our goals is to start going to some of the fiber festivals because we'd be able to, you know.
Are you
and because that was our
setting up
go ahead.
there?
Huh?
Set up there, or are you just like
That would be the end goal, but I think we'd probably go first, you know, so like go see what some of them are like, see if we, you know, like them enough to go, and then also be able to ask the questions with like, because we're not towing a vehicle right now, so what's parking like? Would we actually be able to like park the RV at somewhere near the location? You know, what are the parks like? So we have so much to learn. I mean, we've taken one trip so far to kind of test everything out, and then, but my husband's a big gardener, so the garden is you know, going now. Everything is planted, and so we're going to wait until everything dies and then hopefully take a really nice long trip because we can take everything on the road, but then it'll be like more of a temperate climate. We're not going in the middle of summer,
that's when
where it'll be really hot.
Like in the fall time, like in October, Rhinebeck in New York, that one, if you can go to that.
I know. And even just to go. I mean, I think that's what's really exciting. It's like, even if we don't vend immediately, being able to go and like meet people and, you know, have those connections.
Yeah.
My husband was like, I mean, we can bring all of our hooks and like sling them out of the RV, you know, like come on over to the RV and go shopping.
Step inside, see what we have.
Right.
Oh my gosh, and all your clothes you can have all your prints and stuff and just stick them.
I know. There's a lot of options. There's definitely a lot of options, and I think it's going to open up a lot of doors for us for that kind of thing. And we actually considered going to I don't know if you've heard of the Our Maker Life live event that they've started doing every year.
Oh, where is that?
So this year it's in Denver, and so like we thought about it, but it's July 22nd.
Yeah.
And so we're just not really sure. You know, we'd have to drive, so it'd be quite a drive from Alabama on either side of actually being at the show. Like the garden is going to still be doing its thing. We're getting chickens. So, you know. So there's a lot to think about because all of that will be pretty new still, and it'll still, you know, be, like I said, middle of summer, so like the parks are going to be pretty full. Like it's going to be hard to find places to actually stay. So, you know, I think that'll take a little more pre-planning. But, you know, the more we talked about it, we're like, not now, but definitely soon. Like we could plan for next year, depending on where they are, and just be able to plan a little more in advance. But it's exciting. I haven't gone to a fiber festival ever, so.
Oh my God, mine is going to be blown. It's so.
Yeah. Did I lose you? There you are. I think I'm losing you a little bit, but I think it's just because you're in a closet.
Oh, I know. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Every now and then you'll freeze, but I think you're good now. Okay. So, some of the questions that I ask any of the guests that come on are like, I know you said you go back and forth between, you know, the size and weights of yarn that you use, but do you have really just like a go-to favorite yarn and hook size that like if you just need a crochet, this is what I tend to grab?
Yeah, I definitely tend to grab like worsted, just like
Mm-hmm.
craft, like acrylic worsted weight, with like a J, like 11 size hook. So like kind of big. And like, I love half double crochet is like definitely
Oh
my favorite.
my gosh.
Just like
Yes.
my favorite.
That's literally this sitting right in front of me.
Yeah.
That's half double. And then this one, I've literally got all of these like sitting on my table right now. That's half double.
Colors. We have color choices.
Oh, yes. This was really fun because this is Premier Bulky Cotton.
Yeah.
It's a cotton blend. So it's their Cotton Fair Bulky, and I'm holding it double for this one. So it's like really squishy.
Yep.
And I don't think I've made anything in this particular color combo. Usually if I've got blue or green in there, it's mixed with like the pink or the orange.
Right.
But I was like, I need something that's like just those colors because I don't have anything in that color wheel. And then I don't know if you saw this one. Now this one is rainbow, but this was one of the newest ones that I finished. It's like it's the Hobie glitter.
I saw that. I love that. Is
And
it the cotton too?
Yes. So I'm pretty sure they're both cotton blends.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
And it's just ribbing. It's single crochet ribbing, which worked up really well. And I think it makes it like the fit is really nice on a lot of people because it's like stretchy this way.
Right.
So I still haven't graded it. So like it's written, you're talking about taking notes. I have a notes app on my phone that I use now for everything. So like as I'm making it, I'll just be taking notes on the little app on my phone. And so it's all written up in the little app, but then I have to like transfer it into like a Google Doc. And then I've started using an Excel spreadsheet for grading because I've heard that was easier than it is, but it still works, you know. So I just put it off.
Yeah.
It'll get done one of these days.
Try some of your patterns. They look like very doable. I'm not very good at like, I don't think I've ever made like really, I've made one wearable for my daughter and then I just made like, it's all the craze, the hexagon cardigan. I made, but like he's 4 months old. So it took me like 15 minutes. Like that's like the only thing I've really done before. So hopefully I would love to learn how to knit. I really like the way knitting looks too. And I don't know, like my brain just isn't working for that.
Yeah, I learned knitting and crochet at the same time. So I think that helped, you know, so I had that confidence starting out. I learned in high school. So I started there, didn't really pick it up again until much later. But once you're like, I did it before, I can do it again, you know? Right. But I really don't knit now. I could, but it's, you know, it's not as mobile. I've never felt confident in like shaping knitwear. Everything I've made has been super boxy. So like I made one boxy cardigan that I never liked how it fit on me. And so my younger cousin ended up taking it. So I was like, at least she'll wear it. I don't like it. And I feel like with crochet, it's so much easier to like shape things and like freeform. Like we talked about freeform crochet.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So what has the larger crochet community meant for you? So whether that's on Instagram, I don't know if you're in Facebook groups or anything, but like what has that experience been like for you?
It's been good. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups. I've made a lot of friends on Instagram. I tried to look at TikTok and I put up videos. I'm like, I don't know why. Am I just too old for this? Like, cannot figure out. I'm like,
I know.
why can I not figure this out?
That really was the first platform where I was like, I really do feel old. Like, I don't really understand how to work this. I'm trying though.
Yeah. So do you remember Fiber Share? Were you ever a part of that?
It's ringing a bell. Is it like yarn swapping?
It was yarn swapping, yeah. Like kind of, it turned into like a high-end yarn kind of swap type thing. but that was so much fun. So you were like paired with somebody, and like you could choose whether you wanted to go overseas or if you wanted to like stay in the US. And you'd like fill out like a survey about yourself and like what you like, and then you would like Instagram stalk the other person, which was like fun, like not in a creepy way, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I'd like get to put together like a gift for them. So I think that was like one of my favorite things ever. They stopped during like when COVID happened and people were like afraid to touch mail. So did there, but
yeah. Yeah, and Ellen commented and said that she loved Fiber Share.
Oh my gosh,
So,
yeah, that was so much
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I do think it would be fun. I've thought about doing like a kind of secret Santa within either my pattern design group or Facebook group, or try to set it up where it's like a smaller group of people where it's not like someone gets left out. You know, I'd really want to make sure that people are going to do it. But I always thought that would be fun to just do, even if it's not yarn, even if it's just like a little, you know, goodie basket of stuff from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, or I don't know, but everybody likes Happy Mail. So,
Definitely.
So where are your favorite places to get yarn on a regular basis?
We have Michael's. It used to be A. Seymour, but they're no. That was my absolute go-to. So I am usually at Michael's or Joann's like once a week.
Gotcha.
Or even if I'm doing like a free-form yarn bombing type thing, something that's like not gonna really be a gift and something that might get like hung outside like on a fence, or just like on my wall, I'll definitely hit the thrift store. Like I definitely love like reusing yarn. That's definitely one of my go-to spots.
Gotcha. I you know, and I don't know if it's because I've never looked for yarn at thrift stores. I've never bought yarn at thrift stores, and I think it's just because I'm always in the clothes. So like I'm always looking at clothing, and I haven't attempted to look for it. And I feel like I'm hoping if I start going again regularly, I'll actually start looking for yarn. Do they always have yarn, like the ones that you've gone to?
That I go to always have yarn. Yes, there are a lot of old ladies down here though, so maybe it's just where I live.
Yeah.
It's like definitely a lot of seniors around here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just like this particular area that I'm in, but there's definitely always yarn, knitting needles, crochet hooks, like an abundance of craft supplies.
True. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've always been the type with clothes to like eBay and thrift shop, and I never thought about it with yarn, I guess, you know, I mean, I just never, and I think too, when I was heavily thrifting, I wasn't crocheting. So I think that might be, you know, once I got into like more heavy crocheting, we had moved to Atlanta and didn't really thrift as much in Atlanta. There weren't I mean, and I'm sure there were, and I just wasn't going out and actively seeking them. But like when we first moved over there, I wouldn't leave the apartment because I was afraid of the traffic. I was afraid to drive.
Oh my God.
I think for the first year, I don't think I left the apartment for the first year except to go to work.
Oh my God. I've never been there before, but it sounds
I mean, I think the mind-blowing one now, if you've gone to any like big city, you've probably experienced something similar, but the most mind-blowing one is when the traffic lanes are literally like 24 across. So you've got like 12 lanes in your direction, 12 lanes in the other direction, and all of them are packed, is like the most mind-blowing experience.
I go into Boston quite a bit because we're not that far from Boston.
Yes.
We don't have like the big lanes. There's just like a lot of construction and like very zigzag.
Yes. Yeah. And I think too, what's interesting is I didn't really think that like Alabama drivers were bad drivers when I left Alabama, but when I moved back, I realized it's pretty bad. And I think it really is, like in Atlanta, you have to learn how to drive proactively and aggressively in a way that's like looking out for yourself. And because everyone does that, you know what people are going to do.
Right.
There's no question. Like if you leave space for a car, someone's going to fill that spot.
Right.
And like you can kind of guess. And I think the problem is, moving back to Alabama, people are unpredictable. I don't know what they're going to do. So like I'm driving and there's not even a ton of cars around me, but the ones that are like, are they going to try to get over in my lane? I have no idea what's going to happen.
Oh my gosh.
So it's interesting. And I'm super interested with traveling now. If we're going more places, if, you know, obviously I know everyone everywhere is driving differently, has different practices with the traffic and all of that. You know, but it's like, for instance, here, if there's a wreck, everyone rubbernecks. So like everyone wants to stop and see what's happening. So a wreck that literally no lanes are closed will back traffic up for like 5 miles because everyone is stopping to see what's happening. Whereas in Atlanta, it's like you wouldn't have traffic stop that much unless there's an entire 18-wheeler flipped over across the entire interstate. People got places to be.
Oh.
You know?
Oh God.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm really glad to hear that where you are is supportive of makers, because I think that's another thing. When we were in Atlanta, there were a lot of craft shows. There were a lot of small shops that carried handmade local goods. And it sounds like that's where you are. You've got a similar situation.
In a super awesome place for like local artists. Yeah, it's been really great living here.
Have you met a lot, like been able to connect with other makers? Have you had some like maker friends? You have people that you see at shows regularly when you were still, you know, going to shows regularly?
Definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Sorry, my brain is just like,
Good.
yeah, no, definitely. I have a couple fiber artist friends on the Cape, but there's not really anybody else that I can think of like off the top of my head. There's like maybe 2 friends that I have that spin on the Cape, and one that crochet, or 2 that crochet, but the rest of them, everybody has like their own special talents here. Like there's so many amazing artists on the Cape.
Yes.
It's crazy. People are super crazy talented here. I'm lucky to know a few of them from doing the show.
It keeps you, I think, you know, inspired.
Yeah.
Especially seeing people outside of your craft.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of the stuff they do, I'm like, I have no idea how you do that.
Do you go, even if you aren't vending, do you attend a lot of craft shows still?
Yeah, my mom actually, I actually taught her how to do, she always knew how to crochet, but I taught her how to do the crochet in the round. So she started making mermaid dolls, and she's been doing the craft shows too.
That's awesome. Do y'all go together?
We did go together for a while, but now that I'm not really doing the shows anymore, but I'll go and visit her there, her and my dad.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So does your dad goes with her to the shows?
He does, yeah. He started making bird houses, which is super cute.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Barnwood. So he's been doing that and like setting up with my mom. So yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So I know that you love the 90s toys, and I know you've got some inspiration there. And I know you said just living where you are is very inspiring, but what are some of like this, like if you feel like you've kind of run out of inspiration, or you're just kind of feeling down, or what are some things that you do to like re-spark that creativity or just get inspired again? Or maybe you don't ever run out of creativity?
Oh no, I definitely do. Like I definitely have like moments where I'm just like, I'm never going to be able to create again. I don't know. I feel like just scrolling through like Instagram, there's so many incredibly talented people. Just looking at pictures, I don't know. Mostly I feel like on Instagram I can just like scroll endlessly, or on Pinterest and get some ideas. But like usually like my ideas come to me like when I'm in the shower. I'm like, this is the best I've ever had.
Yep. Definitely.
But yeah, no, I've definitely had moments where I remember when I was pregnant with my 4-year-old, I had like not postpartum depression because it was before he was born, but like I literally like put like a towel over my spinning wheel, and I was like, I'm never use yarn again. And then after I had it, I'm like, here we are.
Yeah. I how do you manage, because I know no matter how inspiring Instagram can be, there are definitely moments I think where all of us feel the comparison bug. you know, where it's like, you know, how are they making this, or how are they so good at this, or, you know, I think it hits us. What are some things that you do to kind of make sure that you're getting a positive experience when you're on social media?
Well, I try and stay away from, well, like recently what happened was it came up on my YouTube thing that somebody had actually made one of these and was giving a free tutorial out, and
Oh,
I just can't, I was like crying for like literally 3 days. I was like, I just need to get over this.
yeah.
So that was kind of hard. She had made like the same thing as me, but she was like making a frog instead. And I was like, oh man, I was like, that's such a bummer. Like that, like totally, like I know my pattern's like 250, but like when people like buy it, do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people buy it, a huge difference for us as a family of 5.
Yeah.
So that was like kind of a bummer. So I kind of try and steer away from like stuff like that, because that was kind of like totally, my brain was just like, why would you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I try not to do the comparison bug thing. I kind of just try and, I don't know.
Do you take time to like cater your feed? Have you ever like unfollowed someone because maybe you were like, oh, I just can't, you know, or are you just like, you pay attention to who you follow? Is that a thought process you have when you're on Instagram?
Not really. I don't think so.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I think some people struggle with it more than others. And I know for me, once we went full time, it was harder, you know, because you find yourself comparing yourself to other designers or other, you know, people who make, you know, merchandise. Like you're like, man, like that's so cool. Like, is my stuff even that good? You know, like you have those questions. And I think it got worse when we started doing it full time, you know, because then it really is, you start to ask those questions. But I think and oh my gosh, talking about the girl that was giving a free tutorial, there have been a couple of times where I know there's one person in particular who it was my hooked design, so with the little flowers and the little hand and like the holding the thing, and it's like they kind of traced it and changed it just enough. Like the colors are different.
Right.
It looks outlined, like they kind of created an outline, and like I think they changed like the direction of the hook or something. It was just enough to where I was like, man, I don't want to say anything, but it's like, you know, like, cause you can't do anything but feel bad.
I know exactly. Like heartbreaking. My sister, she's probably watching right now, hi Lee, struggles with that. She's a fiber artist also. She does the most amazing embroidery. She's so incredibly talented with felt, and she embroiders it. She makes the most adorable stuff.
Cool.
If you ever her up, it's May's Landing. But she's had like a couple people where it's like inspired by May's Landing, and then it's like literally the exact same thing, and it's like, oh my god,
difficult.
like, oh no,
yeah.
I'm like, do you say, like, no, you don't say something, but it can be like kind of heartbreaking and like not great for mental health. But yeah, thankfully there was a girl, my pattern actually just sold a ton of stuff, a ton of patterns this week, because somebody on TikTok, and she was the sweetest girl. I have to message her back. She was like, this isn't my pattern. She's like, these comments are for her. And like, she was literally the nicest person like ever. I was like, just giving the designer credit is just like, oh my gosh. I was literally like sobbing. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, she's so beautiful.
And people don't have to. I think that's what's, you know, I don't expect people to tag me. Sometimes I'll have to search my hashtag or search a hashtag for like the pattern, and I will find ones where like people didn't actually tag me, but then I can go comment and you know, I can share what they've made. But it's huge. I had the same thing happen on TikTok, and it was passionate. And she bought my F off sweatshirt like a while back, you know, and shared that and tagged me, and I got a ton of sales. So it's like, I'm super thankful. I mean, because she's huge on TikTok, you know, so it's definitely, it's definitely finding like that balance of, you know, if they're going to be inspired by something, like doing it the right way. And, you know, I guess at least, even though it was inspired by, at least they tagged them. I mean, that's like the.
Oh. Yeah, definitely.
I think if we all just remember to be kind and to, you know, give credit where it's due, and really ask ourselves how it would affect us if, you know, if things were turned around. And I think if you have to question it, then like, or my biggest thing was, if you would not feel comfortable direct messaging that person and saying, hey, is this okay? Then it may not be okay. You know, like that was always kind of my rule of thumb. You know, if I was going to make something that was like inspired by something else, if I couldn't comfortably reach out and send them a picture of what I made and say, hey, I made this, it's inspired by this, is that okay?
Right.
You know,
Right.
then maybe it's not. But I absolutely love your stuff. I do hope that in the future you find some time to put some new patterns out there, because I think they'd be amazing.
Thank you.
And anyone watching, be sure to go check out her Instagram and check out her pattern, the one and only.
Thank you.
I'm not going to say one hit wonder. I'll say one hit wonder for now, like at that point in your life, until you have more. But it's amazing. And I would love to see somebody make the jumbo. I want to see a jumbo one with like the blanket yarn for sure. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. And for anyone, if you're joining in late, this will be available to watch on my Instagram feed. And then I will also upload it to YouTube. So if you follow me on YouTube, you can check it out there. I've actually got, like I said, I think this is episode 47, which is crazy. And they're all on YouTube. So if you want to binge watch and meet some new fiber friends, I got you covered, you know. But thank you so much, Mary, for coming on. I'm so glad this worked. It was
finally awesome.
It was a little like gray, cloudy outside today, so I was like, fingers crossed.
Right.
Stormed yesterday, and I think it was moving out. So, so we made it.
Yeah, we did it, and congratulations. That's very exciting.
I know. I'm excited. I think we're bringing them home. So it was actually our cousins who raised them from the chicks. So they had experience like actually raising them until they're big enough to be outside. Right. And they're outside now on their farm. And so I think in the next couple of days, we're going to go snatch them up and bring them home, and we'll get to share chicken videos.
Hey, that's awesome. You can make them
I mean, we'll have to make them things. Yeah. I mean, that's a definite, you know, and I think, I've seen a lot of the people who make like the egg aprons.
Yeah.
And I've never wanted to make them because like they're so intensive. I mean, it is like it's such a big piece and like the little things, but I was like, I have to make a chunky version then. That's all that means.
Absolutely. You don't need that many pockets. I mean, depending on how.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't need that. I can just go back and forth if I don't have enough. Well, thank you again so much. I will definitely bring you back on, and we'll do a check-in. I've been trying to reach back out now that I'm at that point where I've had so many people on. I love to bring people back. So, you know, we'll do a check back in and see how you're doing. And I'm going to send you two. So I want to send you, if you'll pick one of my wearable patterns.
Yeah.
Because you said you haven't made one. Pick one that you like, and, you know, see if you can make yourself a little wearable.
Oh my goodness.
With
I will tell
the chunky yarn, so it won't take long.
Find out about the hook designing too, for my daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just shoot me a message. And for anyone who, if you haven't heard of the DIY Hook Challenge, we are going to be officially announcing May 1st. You can go to my website and you can click the drop down under, I think it says the best crochet hooks ever, or something like that, tooting our own horn on the website. But there's a drop down and there's a whole page dedicated to DIY Hook Challenge. It has been updated for 2023. Long story short, you get a white crochet hook that you get to decorate any way you want, and then you enter pictures of it. You don't have to send it back. You enter pictures of it online for the chance to win prizes, and we do it every summer. So, like I said, officially we'll announce it May 1st. It runs all the way through. We're going to announce winners in July. So you're going to have like a whole month that you can use to decorate the hooks. But we're really excited because it'll be the 3rd year. So yeah, super excited. And we're already printing the hooks. They're getting printed downstairs right now. So we'll be excited to announce. So yes, just follow up with me here on Instagram and we'll get that taken care of and I'll let you know what's happening there. But thank you all so much for watching and joining in for Pink Sheep and Friends Friday. We'll see you again next week. And until then, happy hooking, guys.
Bye.
Bye.